Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is a video that was taken from a plane of a saucer. And you know what, initially this came out a few months ago, but I didn't want to put it up because I wasn't really convinced that it was even real. But looking at it again, I noticed something else. So, you know, like I've always said, I never know about these videos, which is why I always provide the links. So, you know, links will be in the description. You can check it out, come to your own conclusions. Also have this video here from Martin Stubbs. He was the guy that I think originally released the STS-75 videos, you know, the tether incident. He worked for a cable company, a Canadian cable company, and he was able to get the direct feeds right from NASA's satellites, you know, a lot of the stuff that wasn't going out into the public, and he recorded a bunch of videos. He also discovered some other strange phenomenon that was happening I think it was like in between frames or something like that. I don't completely understand what he captured, but you know what, I'll put the video up in my next one. But in this one here, there seems to be some kind of flash, and then, you know, several objects take off in this little clip. Also have this clip here of what appeared to be two crafts flying across the sky during a storm, night sky during the storm. And then I got this video here from Reddit, supposed entity. I saw this video today and more on a podcast. You see, yeah, this is a supposed entity. I don't think this is an entity. I really don't know what's going on here, but I don't think it's like a real quote-unquote entity. I think it's just some type of phenomenon that may have been created by this UFO UAP. Also have this article here about UFOs that were swarming a ship. One of the Navy warships sailing off Southern California's coast in July 2019 witnessed several of the ships being swarmed by a host of unidentified flying objects. And then last is this article here about this woman, Betty Andreasson's multiple UFO experiences, underwater base, and humans in glass containers. Yeah, according to her, she had been abducted several times and taken to a base which she believes was underwater. And while at one of the bases, you know, here, this is the drawing of the ship that supposedly abducted her. She also, you know, saw at the base what she called a human museum. Yeah, museum of time, where she saw people in these glass containers from different eras. But, you know, I have my doubts about hypnosis. I remember in junior high school, some hypnotist came to our school, and, you know, he was looking for volunteers. So, you know, I volunteered to see if I could be hypnotized, and I couldn't be hypnotized. You know what I mean? Because I just felt like his suggestions, or he was just looking for people who were suggestive, right? People who were willing to, you know, do the things. Like, for instance, you know, when he says, "Oh, you know, act like a chicken," I'm like, man, I ain't gonna act like no damn chicken. But, you know, there are other people who were, and I just think that those are just, you know, people who are just willing to play along. Yeah, I don't have that kind of mind. I'm not a willing participant, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, you know, if you appreciate the time and effort that I put into bringing this information to you, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And more importantly, please subscribe. It really helped me out with the algorithms. But anyways, let's go to this first video here. Let me back this up a little and check this out.
Un usuario de Twitter compartió un video donde asegura que grabó un ovni. Al respecto, algunos...
Yeah, you see, the reason why I didn't think that this was real was because of that, you know, just before that object
que cada vez hay más pruebas que sugieren la posibilidad de que hay vida extraterrestre vigilando nuestro
Here,
planeta.
watch this. Yeah, watch before the smoke. There's some kind of effect that I don't think, was something that happened while they were
Sin
filming.
embargo, también hubo otros usuarios que se dijeron sumamente sorprendidos, mientras que otros
Yeah, you see that wavy effect. And another thing, yeah, with this thing here, watch. There is something that flies out of this. Let me see if I can stop it.
comentaron que el video
There it is, right there. Yeah, you see this thing flying out of here. Watch.
podría
Zing,
ser hecho
takes
con
off.
inteligencia artificial, es decir, que una IA creó el video.
Anyways, yeah, I'm not 100% convinced this is real, but who knows? A link will be in the description. You can check it out. Come to your own conclusions. Let's see. I got this video here from Marty Stubbs. Now watch this. There's initially it moves in. I think it moves in slow motion, but there's some kind of flash, and then after the flash, there are several. What I think are crafts that suddenly zoom away at pretty high speed. Yeah, you see that flash? And then they all take off.
Houston, we're
Now,
with you on Tedra's Z. Go ahead, Story.
Yeah, here she says, go ahead, Story. I think she's referring to Story Musgrave or Musgrove or whatever his name is. But anyways, like this object here, I think some of these were crafts, but I believe that some of these other moving objects aren't necessarily, like crafts, like something that was, manufactured. I really think that, based on the STS-75 video, that there are these giant space bovines, I like to call them, like the space cows or whatever. Again, and they're giant, because based on the STS-75 video, we know that energy collector was 12 miles long, right? So essentially, there was like a big, huge ruler just floating out into space, and based on that ruler, you could figure out, the size of these other, again, I think they're biological creatures that were 2.5 to 5 miles, 2.5 to 5 miles wide. But anyways, yeah, check this out.
Okay, is the control room on a break now?
No, Story, we're all here, and we're all ears.
Anyways, that's as much as on a play. Yeah. Look at this object here, right? This I believe is a craft as opposed to a creature.
Okay.
But I believe these things here are creatures, some type of biological creatures that occupy low Earth orbit and can only be seen in I think it's the ultraviolet light, right? Some of these things you can only see in the infrared light. I think this is ultraviolet. Anyways, link will be in the description. Check it out. I got this video here from Only Real UFOs. Seems to be two crafts flying through the sky during a thunderstorm. So that one there goes by, and then watch another one's going to appear here. And this here I'm pretty sure is the moon. But yeah, anyways, that's what this guy captured. I really wish he would have filmed in landscape as opposed to this portrait mode. Yeah, check this out. Yeah, these have to be crafts because if they were like conventional planes or helicopter, we would at least see the flashing lights. Anyways, link to that will be in the description. Now this is a strange one here because what these guys are claiming that this is some type of entity. Now the beginning of this video just is
There's actually 3 there. You can't see the third one?
yeah, it's just some guys seem to have captured some UFOs.
You see a little one, yeah.
Oh, two, wow,
Yeah,
two.
see the third
Another one
one,
just come
there's
up
three
beside it
there.
and lit up, Brian. You're not
always-
going to believe
it's
there's
always
two
three.
together.
See the one, both
Yeah.
right push.
Number three's got to be in
Now, you
there.
tell me, guys, satellites don't
Wow.
crisscross like that, do
No,
they?
they'd all be illuminated too.
Oh, there are three in a
There's
triangle
no
right
doubt.
now. Wow.
It's obvious.
This is
But
incredible.
let me tell you another little exciting thing.
It's just,
If you notice the show and the headline, when in the title it says, we're testing Chris Bledsoe for his quantum.
Describing how the sounds are going to be funny because there were some Native Americans in our backyard chanting, but you're going to see an entity actually
I wish I
flash
had Native
out.
Americans in my backyard chanting. That'd be the
Well,
best.
there were some local guys from our state who found us on Facebook and they offered to come out and do a spiritual singing thing.
Oh,
But
wow.
watch this.
Oh, I go. 1 5.
That's an orb right there. That's it.
Flash.
It'll show a picture at the end.
Whoa, I see something.
Whoa!
Yeah, you see, yeah, I don't think, yeah, I think these guys are thinking this is like some type of being, entity. I don't think so. I think this is just a byproduct, or maybe something that was generated by, well, whatever this thing is. Again, if this is all legit. Anyways, that's that video. Link will be in the description. Let's see, I got this article here about these UFOs that surrounded a ship. You know what? I'm surprised they were referring to these things as UFOs, because remember the new term is UAP, right? We went from UFO, unidentified flying objects, but then when they realized that people were seeing these things in the oceans and also in space, right? You don't fly in space, you don't fly in the oceans, so they came up with the unidentified anomalous objects, and and also. I'm sure people have heard the term non-human intelligence. I think, the non-human intelligence, is nothing to do with, aliens or extraterrestrials. But I think using that term is, again, it's to get people used to the idea that, that these beings, that are obviously controlling all of these UAPs, right, aren't extraterrestrial. They're not alien. They're not off planet. Although, granted, I said this before, there are definitely some people, within the UFO or within the government who want to control the narrative, right? And they're using the term UAP and UFO. And then, there's other people in the government who don't want any of this information released, and they're still, pushing out bullshit. And then I think there are some in the government who want the truth to be known, who aren't emphasizing the idea that we're not alone on this planet, but they are putting that information, they're mentioning that information, many times just in passing, but they don't focus in on that. So I think, again, it's just to allow people, to slowly figure these things out for themselves. Anyways, last article here is this woman here who claims to have been abducted multiple times. The abduction of Betty Andreasson Lucas, considered to be one of the most documented cases in the history of ufology. The woman from Massachusetts experienced multiple abductions, and her case is widely studied by UFO researchers. It became popular after publication of the best-selling novel, The Andreasson Affair, which came out in the late 1970s. She attended many radio shows and TV interviews where she discussed her encounters with gray aliens and even drew sketches. Yeah, you know what? I always find it kind of weird, people who write books about this. Because sometimes I think they're just trying to sell books. And like I said, I have my opinions about hypnosis. But anyways, this is, I guess this is interesting enough to at least mention or, put this article here so you can check it out yourself. But anyways, what I find most interesting is her recollection of seeing, what she called, Betty Andreasson drew what Fowler called Museum of Time, which were humans from different eras. here. During one of her hypnotic regression sessions, she remembered one of the early abductions that occurred to her in childhood. See, again, you know, she's being hypnotized as an adult, and then, you know, claiming that, you know, all of this stuff took place when she was a child. Anyways, it took place in 1950 when she was taken from her home into a spacecraft as usual, but this time the craft was flying towards an ocean or sea. She was terrified that the craft would crash into the water, but the ship submerged into the water and entered into a kind of tunnel. Betty could see everything underwater as the place was filled with light. What she said next under hypnosis is so bizarre that even gave a chill to Fowler. She saw people from all eras, different races, encased in the glass container. Fowler called it the Museum of Time. Betty said that people in the container were in old-fashioned clothes, and they were unaccountable cubicles with humans inside at that underwater base. Fowler wrote that when he listened to one of the regression sessions recording, his mind blew up as he found it difficult to believe. A cold chill coursed through my body when Betty was describing people and animals encased in glass cubicles in an icy tavern. Yeah, again, you know, I find the idea that she was hypnotized. I don't believe hypnosis is necessarily real. But again, you know, I've always said I'm open to being wrong. I'm always open to being wrong, but yeah, and she wrote a book about it, you know, and then telling about stuff. You know, she never recalled this stuff when she was a child. It was only after I think even here, I don't even know what the timeline is. I mean, did she write the book first and then start being hypnotized? Or was she hypnotized, you know, supposedly remembered all this stuff and then wrote a book about it? Anyways, I don't know. You know what? Thank you very much for making it till the end. If you appreciate the time and effort that I put into making these videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video, and more importantly, please subscribe. It will really help me out. Until next time, take care.